Hey everybody, it's Comic Crack. Welcome. It's been a bit. Sorry, just setting myself up here. It's been a bit since I've picked up any new books, and I picked up some stuff today. I did some Christmas shopping, and one of the stops was Galaxy Comics. Had a look on the racks, and there was just a few things that appealed to me that I don't know. I just wanted to give a shot to. So I did some reading tonight. These two I didn't get around to yet. I enjoyed the first series enough. It's the art that draws me to it a lot. But it looks like things kind of get a little stranger in this particular issue. Dave Stewart's name is on it. Phonographix doing the lettering or coloring. I can't remember. I think that Phonographix, isn't that associated with Elephant Man? Or am I wrong about that? Anyway, just in case anybody is there, I'm on the app. The YouTube live streaming for the phone doesn't seem to be working anymore, even though my phone just updated last night. It still doesn't seem to be working, so if you are there, I'm sorry I can't see the chat. I acknowledge your existence, though. So I haven't got around to these two, but I just wanted to show you that if anybody hasn't seen it, it's worth having a look at. I wish I could tell you exactly what the first issue was about, but it's been so long since I've read it. I don't really remember, to be fair, so I think I'm going to have to find it again and kind of read these three back to back. So I have Doll issue number 6 out, only because it kind of relates to Barbarella a little bit. I didn't really talk about the remaining Doll issues up to number 7. I don't have issue number 8 yet. I didn't really speak about them. I said that I was going to. I do have some things to say, so maybe I'll leave it for a separate video. Let's just say that this, out of the issues that I've read so far, barring the first story arc, I really like this first story arc. Once that one finished, the issues after that, this has been my favorite one. There's been one or two that have been kind of duds for me, to be fair. I didn't really like them. They were a little too, I don't know, they were a little too preachy. It was like, here's my manifesto, as Mr. Guy Caldwell, here's my manifesto of things that I want to say, so I'm just going to write a character and just have this character monologue for the whole book. It just didn't work for me, to be honest. This one worked for me a fair bit. I really enjoyed this book. One of the things, and he has it on the back here, and he kind of talks about it inside, this piece of Gandhi massaging a naked woman. Apparently the story goes that Gandhi did this, had women around him as kind of like tests for himself, and he would give them massages and take care of them, but he wouldn't have sex with them, as kind of a test for himself and his kind of piety, I guess, or his kind of vision of what his life should entail, by taking things away from himself, pleasures away from himself, to kind of reach a higher plane. So that's the premise of this one. We have some people that are in kind of a cult. One of them finds the doll kind of as a leftover from the previous story, which actually wasn't too bad. Issue 5 wasn't too bad either. So everything still sort of ties in. He finds Doll and brings her back to kind of his group, where he explores things, and it kind of turns the whole group. It's these kind of a cult, I guess. It's never really specifically, I don't remember if it's specifically said, I don't think it is specifically said what kind of religion they follow, or what their kind of path is, but Doll, in her power, as she does in all of these books, kind of takes over for the group, and people kind of lose kind of their faith and their focus by participating in kind of carnal acts with Doll, and then eventually some of them with each other. I've always thought that's an interesting aspect of, I'm not religious whatsoever. I think it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. I just find it so strange that you would that you would kind of cut yourself off from the supposed sins of the flesh and this kind of enjoyment of part of our lives just to as a form, like that's the one thing that's keeping you off your track of becoming the person that you're meant to be, or this spiritual pathway. I don't know, it's just such a strange way to look at things. I can sort of understand it because, I mean, there's a definite kind of carnal, animalistic side to it, right? It's that, I mean, and basically that's, what religion, to me, again, this is all my opinion. I don't mean to offend anybody. If you are offended, I wish I could say I'm bothered by that. I'm honestly not, but this is only my opinion, obviously. A lot of religion to me is that kind of denying that kind of base animal instinct and kind of denying what we are as a species, and how we got to where we are and what we've evolved from, and what the kind of main drive is in any sort of species, which is recreation, to continue your lineage, to continue your line, right? And you see that a lot, not only in religion, you see that a lot in the world anyway, this kind of denial of where we've come from, which I think hinders us in kind of facing problems that we do face, especially ones that we face now. Is it the only answer? Of course, I'm not suggesting that it's the only answer. No, that would be ridiculous. Like anything, it's multifaceted, and there's a lot more to it. But I do feel that that plays a big part in just who we are as a species, right? So, okay, I swear that's all. That's all I'm going to do with that. So anyway, that ties into Barbarella because the world that she kind of comes across is very religious as well, and they have gone so far as to surgically enhance or remove the sex organs from their men and women, although this one prison seems to be just filled with women. Barbarella comes in contact with these people. They do kind of a body scan of her. They say that, what do they say? She's carrying contraband, bio contraband. She has a ... So they call it bio contraband, and that is the downfall. Now, again, this seems to be touching on, she goes to a prison that's filled with women. She has this surgery performed on her in this page here. They don't go into any graphic detail or anything, but the idea is still there that now she's been amended. Oh no, here we go. So here's an image, it's man and woman, so they've done it to both men and women. But in the prison with all the women, there's some people that are still really feeling guilty about what they've done and still trying to make amends, and others that don't. And because it's Barbarella's story, you're going to get into some... there we go. Some carnal pleasures. So there's a little piece in here about how it's ridiculous because passion and sensuality and sexuality comes from so many more places. Obviously, it's a little on the nose, this part of it, for sure, but still referencing, kind of still in line with what's happening with Doll. This idea that you're going to be able to control those kind of things that are really strong drive. This kind of puts it in a bit more of a flowery kind of way as far as passion and things, but still exploits it a fair bit because it is a Barbarella comic. We find out that her new mate is a spy, and I'll leave it there. I don't want to go too much into it. I don't want to spoil it. The one off-putting thing, and it's just me, the back 2 pages are the cover galleries with all the covers that have been created for this book, which always makes me feel a little... it makes me hesitate a little bit when I look at books like this that have 2 pages of cover gallery pictures. Whatever. I do understand. I totally get it. I really like this cover. I couldn't resist. I do like the movie Barbarella. It really is of its time. The set pieces are incredible. So I couldn't resist giving it a shot. Another in the hard case crime catalog from Titan Comics. This is The Girl Who Handcuffed Houdini by somebody named Cynthia Von Bueller. The name doesn't ring a bell to me. Doesn't mean that I don't know who she is. I'm really fantastic with names, so it very well could be that I know exactly who it is. I'm so fantastic with names. Max Allan Collins, Road to Perdition, and Batman. Road to Perdition, of course I know Road to Perdition. Why do I know the name Max Allan Collins? Oh, that's right. Miss Tree. So, putting two to two together, and I've known about Road to Perdition for a long time, obviously. It's not like it's some kind of obscure writing or anything. It just, the two never lined up for me until I looked at the back cover of this. I think Rez was asking me about this. Rez or La Raza, I can't remember who. Apologies for that. Quarry's War, and now that I see this ad, I didn't pick up the issue. So there's another hard case crime that I'm missing out. I'm a little behind in the hard case crime world. I've got a few by my bedside that I just haven't read yet. They've been sitting there for a little while, eagerly waiting. It's still a line of comics that I'm really interested in, and will always give them a shot. That said, I don't know how I felt about this one. It's about, they kind of give you a little bit here. Minky Woodcock, The Girl Who Handcuffed Houdini, is based on bizarre facts and mysterious questions regarding Harry Houdini's death on October 31st, 1926. You can visit an evidence page to see the news clippings, photographs, letters, telegrams, court documents, and autopsy reports, which form the basis of this series. So this takes place October 11th, 1926, so like 20 days before his death. Yeah, so it kind of dives into the world of spiritualism, and there's a seance in here that's clearly just a ruse, and she, you know, it's not exactly like it's difficult to figure out if you do ever pick up the book. And we just get kind of a hint of what's going on. She gets approached by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who knew her father. She's trying to become a detective in her father's agency, and she kind of